So, first question is for you, Gareth. At DreadCentral, we are fans already of your work from VHS.
Oh, cool,
So
nice
I know
one.
you love the horror genre.
Yeah.
And of course, the Raid 1 was also as equally bloody, graphic, and brutal. So, what are some of your sensibilities, though, as far as like making a martial arts film that will also appeal to people who are really into the bone-crushing gore?
I don't know. It's a weird thing for me. It's kind of when it comes to design, like when it came to like Safe Haven, when it came to like VHS 2, and when it came to the Raid, and then also like with the Raid 2, it's not like it's not really that I have this like specific goal to kind of be like, oh, it's got to be controversial, it's got to be like edgy and gruesome or anything. It's purely down to the psychology of the setup of the scene. So like we did a martial arts movie before this franchise called Merantau that was much softer, way softer. But it was because it made sense for it to be softer. Because his character was like an innocent country boy, went off into the city, and then for the first 2/3 of the film, he was trying to avoid the fight. And so in that psychology then, when you do a fight scene, like he can't be trying to avoid the fight, but then snap some guy's leg or do something like this. And so when it came to the Raid, the whole conceit was about like a SWAT team. Like a team of people who were trained in that kind of like, the lethal art and to really make sure that like whoever they face as an opponent is not going to remain an opponent. Now that doesn't mean they kill everyone, but it's like if they put someone down, that guy isn't getting up in the next couple of hours to become a threat again later on. So that initial psychology then kind of comes into play when we design the choreography. So then in a way it's kind of, we don't hold back as much then. So when it's like, okay, well, you've got to make sure he isn't getting up. So well, what are you going to design for that? What's the choreography going to be for that? And then I guess like, yeah, because I'm a fan of like horror films as well. Watching things like, like Peter Jackson from like Brain Dead or Bad Taste and stuff like that. Like there's so much creativity there where that kind of gruesomeness can kind of give levity to it. It can make an audience like, shocked, but then because it's a communal atmosphere, you laugh at the fact that everyone shared that moment of shock. So it kind of softens a little bit too then. It kind of takes away some of the edge of it just being hardcore and brutal all the way through.
Right. Well, Iko, I have a question for you about not the fight scenes, but the more emotional scenes where you really have a lot to latch onto as far as being an undercover agent, and you've got your wife and your child. And can you talk a little bit about what the challenges were on acting in those types of scenes?
Oke. Ya. Untuk saya banyak banget di sini untuk beradegan drama di sini. Salah satu adegan yang di mana saya harus telepon ke istri saya dan mendengarkan anak-anak saya, itu salah satu tantangan buat saya.
In this movie, I had to act the emotional elements up more. So the most challenging scene was when I had to call my wife and heard the sound of my kid. Ya, soalnya di situ bagaimana rasanya harus sebelumnya saya telepon ke bos saya yang sangat emosional, dan saya harus rubah emosional yang tadinya marah sekarang menjadi yang lebih emosional ke hati untuk telepon ke istri saya. Before that scene, I had to call. There was a scene where I had to call my boss, and so I had to change the emotion from talking to the boss when I was so angry with him to talking to my wife. Dan di situ saya dikasih tuntunan dari Gareth bagaimana misalkan kamu jauh dari istri kurang lebih 3 tahun dan nggak ketemu, jadi saya rasakan itu semua, dan kebetulan istri saya waktu itu lagi mengandung dan saya bayangkan itu. Okay, so Gareth guided me and told me to imagine what kind of feeling I would have if I had to be separated from my wife for 3 years, and at that time actually my wife was also pregnant, so I brought that into my mind.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Well, great job.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time.